most people are having the same thoughts every day. It's not unique thoughts. It's the same thoughts over and over and over again. You're just reliving the patterns of thought, patterns of behavior. So the whole goal then to me is to wake up.
What's the real message?
How to unfuck yourself. Yeah.
How to unfuck yourself. And that's what I want this conversation to be about.
I love it.
How to raise your awareness, find out how you've been damaging yourself or perpetuating problems, repeating patterns, strengthening your limiting beliefs, all these different things, and get yourself to the other side.
Yeah.
Right. And I know it's a little bit racy language, but I can't think of a more appropriate way to say it than how to unfuck yourself. So how do people fuck themselves? How do they do it?
That's a great question. I think most of our programming is pretty well baked by the time we're 7, right? And before the age of 7, we're in theta state mostly, which is in a super absorptive state. So we're just absorbing everything in our environment and we're largely unconscious. So by the time we get through that age, our programming is well baked. So depending on the environment you grew up in, what you experienced, you've already made assumptions about your world. You already told yourself stories about your world. You're already creating a world to try to make sense of what you've experienced with your parents, right? Which most people, when they go back and want to talk about why they believe what they do, they go back to their parents or how they were raised. But we don't take the time to evaluate whether or not it's accurate more often than not. And so that's where we begin. I've heard it said many times, but we're willing to challenge anything we hold to be true, except for those things we hold most true. Those we don't challenge at all. And I feel like that's very, very true. I see that over and over again in people's lives.
Give me some examples.
Anytime you see global belief systems, all people are like this. Rich people are greedy. Poor people are needy. Nobody forgives anyone. Anytime you see global belief systems, that's generally an indication of a program that is through life experience that has become fully baked into the psyche of the individual, that they're not questioning whether or not that's true or not, whether it's accurate or not. And they don't realize their worldview is being shaped by that belief. So when they walk out into the world and they see things, their stories that inform their worldview are based on these beliefs that they're not even conscious of. Global belief systems is an easy place to start. So anytime I listen to people use never, always, everyone, no one, that's
even about themselves.
Even about themselves.
Because the way I say it sometimes is don't believe everything you believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you look back at your life, the things that you believe to be 100% true, now you have a different belief system about that thing, and it's somehow that magically changed. So what are you thinking about now?
Right.
That is going to be proven to be inaccurate at some point in the future or not serving you.
Not serving you is a big one. And I love that you brought that up. So for me, I think we have to operate with a modicum of humility that we're going to do the best we can with the information we have, but be willing to change your mind. I think the intelligence of the future, the learned of the future, will be those who have learned how to unlearn and relearn. And that's a skill that's getting seemingly harder and harder to find in people, right? It gets crystallized and then we hold on to that which we believe, which is why my whole book is on identity, because our identity crystallizes us into a story about ourselves in the world, and it informs our entire experience. And if we don't challenge it, if we don't question that, we're basically on repeat. And I see this in my coaching practice, how many people are living out the same day over and over again, because most people are having the same thoughts every day, right? 90% of their thoughts. Yeah. Groundhog's Day. It's not unique thoughts. It's the same thoughts over and over and over again. You're just reliving the patterns of thought, patterns of behavior. So the whole goal then to me is to wake up, where you're no longer living from those patterned belief systems, or at least if you are, you did it from a conscious place. Because I think it is useful. Your unconscious will help you become more energy efficient with your belief system. So if you consciously bring something in, go, this is what I want to believe, and then you embed it in your unconscious, that's useful, right? Because it doesn't take any energy to do it, and you'll begin to constantly manifest that in your environment. The key is to become conscious of those things. And most people don't ever get there. So their belief systems are from 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they've never evaluated, is this true? Is this real? Is this accurate? Do I want to continue to show up this way in the world? Third-hand offenses are the ones that I feel like you run into a lot. I'll give you another example. Let's say you grew up in a home where you were taught that men can't be trusted. I have 2 clients right now that have similar stories around this. Well, I'll ask them, well, did you have any experiences with men not being able to be trusted? And they say, well, not when I was younger. I'm like, well, what happened there? Well, my grandma was married to an abusive alcoholic. And my mom saw that environment and she made the judgment men can't be trusted. Right. So then she passes this on to, this is what her discovery was. Like this was passed on to her, not through her experience, but through somebody else's experience. Sure. And it was never challenged. So now she's got this operating belief that men can't be trusted.
People can do that about men, women, race,
anything. I'm just using a real example, but 100%. This goes in so many different ways. And we don't think to challenge whether it's true. And then it's showing up in our world and causing us a lot of pain in our relationships. And we're confused why our relationships aren't working out or why we seem to suffer the same kind of patterns in relationship, right? And there's just no awareness. So if we can't solve for us, then we're constantly at the effects of life. And that's how we're looking at it. Life is happening to me.